Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Hey guys, welcome to another. This chair's so uncomfortable. Hey guys, welcome to. What the. Oh! It's my backlog. Na 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 na. Welcome to another episode of Life with Juan. It's me, Juan, and my face is less painful today. I took my medicines right before making this video. A little off topic, I've been trying to find out ways how I can fix the lighting in my video. When I'm taking the video on my phone, lighting seems okay, but when I put it into editing and, finish making the final video, there's like a dullness, like a low saturation on my video, and I can't seem to figure out how to fix it. If you have any suggestions, please let me know below. Anyway, like I promised, I'm going to be showing you part 2 of how I use Notion to study. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, please click here. I'm giving the links of all the videos that I'm featuring here in the description box below. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Alright. Let's open up Notion. Let's bring it here. Alright, so here we are at my Notion. And here's the good old study tracker. Like I said, if you haven't seen the first video, I highly suggest you watch it. Before I go to part 2, I did a few tweaks on the reading and studying. I added in the reading progress this backlog column. Say that you already read the material and you don't really have to pressure yourself on reading it the second time. You can check or uncheck the backlog column, and what's gonna happen is if the backlog column is unchecked, then the deficit is not gonna be reflected in the graphic. However, if you do check the backlog column, oh my, all the kids are zombies, see? So that's what the backlog column does. It's a nice little additional touch. Anyway, let's go back to the study tracker. Let's go to the examination progress. Now, I divided the examination progress into 2 simple parts. First, I have the exam items. Then I have the exam assessment. Alright, so what do we do first? Let's do exam items. Alright. So I'm here. Let's go first to the show off. Okay, the exam items is essentially a document that's going to auto check items. Like if you have any exam, you want to make yourself a little test, and you want to tally your score, this is what you want to use. So I have several columns here. I have the name. I'll explain this one by one. These are ladder columns. Let's go to create questions. What's nice is this interface allows you to make questions for an exam. I'll run through it one by one. So in the create questions portion, you can simply create questions. Like if you want to test yourself on anything, you want to add an exam question, multiple choice type question, then you can make it here. Now let's go through the whole process. I have 3 sample questions over here. So what is the powerhouse of the cell? All of us know what that is, right? The little organelle that makes all of our ATPs, the cytochromes, and the electron transport chain. It's the mitochondrion. The mitochondrion is not just the powerhouse of the cell. Actually, if you ask me, it's an oversimplification. You also need it to convert malate, oxaloacetate for those shuttles, for transferring in and out of the mitochondria for, gluconeogenesis. You also need it for generating reactive oxygen species, for killing evil bacteria. You also need the mitochondria for synthesizing fatty acids. It's not just a powerhouse. Enough said, right? But anyway, so in this question, I have placed what is the powerhouse of the cell, mitochondria, and you have 5 columns over here. A, B, C, D. But these columns are just equations. Like they're auto-configured to generate a simulated checkbox based on what you put here. This column over here is official answer. You can just choose. Is there an F here? Move. Okay. There are 5 choices here, A, B, C, D, E, and essentially whatever you choose here becomes the official answer of the question. So, for example, in another world where the ribosome were the powerhouse of the cell, in another universe, then I choose D, and it will automatically reflect D over here. But, that's not the case. The mitochondrion isn't the powerhouse of the cell. Likewise, what inhibits dihydrofolate reductase? Here the answer will be SNP2B. And what is the RNA that serves as the template in transcription? Not the RNA. mRNA. No, it's not the template in transcription. It's the template in translation. What's like with that? The DNA is the template in transcription. No. DNA is the template in transcription. What? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You've been lacking sleep, haven't you? Anyway, that's besides the point. So in translation, mRNA serves as the template for tRNA to synthesize the protein sequence, the amino acid chain. Anyway, so after that we have official explanation and other sources. Alright, so say you're basing this off of like a source. Say you're using BRS biochemistry. You would write your explanation here. But, right now I'm too lazy. So what's gonna happen is when you're checking your answers, like once you've already answered the exam and you're done answering, you're checking your answers, you would click on this. And then the official explanation, we would be reviewing your answers and you'd look at the explanation for the answers and you'd be like, oh, that's why I got it wrong. So in my case, okay, great. You could put an explanation here. mRNA is the template for transcription and DNA is the template for transcription. Wait a minute. Juan, why are you getting this wrong? DNA is the template for transcription. mRNA is the template for translation. Alright. And then if you want to put your sources, you know how to cite sources, right? I forgot what this format is called, but I always do it this way. Last name, first name, put the date in parentheses, the title of the word, the city, published, then the publisher will say it's pages 1, 2, 3. Right. So say you have a source and you want to go back to it, you can put it here for referencing. That's pretty simple, right? Pretty useful as well. Alright, so that's the create questions portion. Now if you want to actually take the test, so say we have all these questions over here, right? So 3 questions. We have a test with 3 questions. Oh, and I placed them under these subjects. So say you want to assign them to a subject. What subject would this fall under? These would fall under biochemistry. But if you want to put it under other stuff, you can create new subjects such as physiology. There. Actually, these subjects I've already referred to in the previous video. If you want to go through that, you can, watch it if you haven't already. I've been telling you, I told you 3 times already in this video. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Okay. And then over here, exams. We'll go to this in the next page. Alright? Then here's name formula. I'm just very particular with how I name it. I don't like names of my questions repeating. So this generates a unique code per question. For each question that you create, it bases it off the date, bases it off the exams under which it is categorized, right? Okay, next we have over here the in-app quiz mode, which a while ago we were making questions, now we are going to answer questions. We can apply a filter here. Exams is under sample exam, or there's an or here. Date taken is today. Say you're gonna take the exam today. Today's not August 20, but say it's under sample exam, it's automatically gonna show up here. Anyway, so I know all the answers to these questions, but for experimentation's sake, let's say I got a few of the items wrong. Powerhouse of the cell. In another universe, probably Golgi Body. Golgi Body is the powerhouse of the cell. So I answer B. But the real answer is mitochondria. Just saying. Next, what inhibits dihydrofolate reductase? Not A and E because I associate those with purine, and DHF is more for pyrimidines. Not so sure about hydroxyurea. Uracil is a pyrimidine. Sulfamethoxazole trimethoprim. I associate that with dihydrofolate reductase. Yeah. Hydroxyurea. I'm choosing between B and C. I'ma choose C. Let's choose C. Then what is the RNA that serves as the template in translation? It's totally mRNA. Alright. Now, over here I also have this column. My logic. If you wanna, go back to your thought process while you were taking the exam, you can type it here. For example, this one. I was already explaining to you, so I might as well use this as an example. What inhibits dihydrofolate reductase? DHF reductase I associate with pyrimidine synthesis. Here's a funny story. When I was in college, I used to spell this pyramidine, but you spell it pyrimidine. But that's kiddie mistakes. That's fine. I associate with pyrimidine synthesis, and I also associate 5-fluorouracil and SMX TMP with pyrimid. My keyboard is not cooperating. So I'm choosing between B and C. Then I have this column over here, keywords. What keywords are important that fall under these questions? Keywords, organelles, cell. Okay, how about here? Keywords would be inhibit. See, I don't like this phone stand. It keeps on wobbling. Inhibitors. Inhibitors. Dihydrofolate reductase. Then over here, translation, template, RNA. Then over here, I have this column. This column is confidence. I am very OC when it comes to answering questions, and I like to indicate on a question whether I was confident when I was choosing the answer to that question. I'll show you why later. Which questions was I confident in answering. I was pretty confident about number 1. Okay, if I was confident about number 1, this table has a feature that it automatically sorts it based on confidence. That the items that you're confident in are going to be automatically moved to the bottom. So if you want to review, you can focus on the ones that you will have to review on, the ones you weren't so confident on. So this one I wasn't very confident on. This one I was pretty confident, so I'll put that under confidence. Right? So I'm confident with number 1 and 3, and I'm not so confident about number 2. Okay? And that's pretty much in-app quiz mode. Let's go to review and feedback. Okay, so the official answers were C, C, and B, even if I answered B, C, and B, right? So let's 1, 2, and 3. So my score for each of these was 0, 1, and 1. Or that would be 0.66 or 66%, right? And remember I was talking about confidence earlier. Well, I have this column over here that rates you whether your item was a false positive, a false negative, or a true positive, or a true negative. And it's gonna be a false positive if you were confident but got it wrong. It's gonna be a false negative if you were not confident but got it right. It's gonna be a true positive if you were confident and got it right, and a true negative if you were not confident and your lack of confidence was confirmed. Okay? So here you can go back to your logic, create the productis, associate, okay, official. There's then official logic or official explanation. DNA is the template for transcription. Remember, you got that earlier. So say you're taking the test after you made the test, and then you can review the notes that you put while you were creating the test. So it can help you to review. And from other sources, if you have other sources, keywords. There, exam items. That is the exam items page. Now let's go back to the study tracker. Let's go to exam assessment. This one essentially assesses the summation of all the exams that you've taken. We have several topics, we have overall, and we have over here the sample exam. We have here the good score, meaning the score that you want to achieve, the safe score. So that would be we can fix this actually. Let's make these percentages. I can't make this a percent. What can I make it a percent? Anyway, we can make these percentages. So a good score for me would be 80%. Passing score would be 50%. This over here is score. It's a roll-up, meaning it picks up a quality of a relation and it does whatever operation you want to do. So, for example, this one, it's going to get the average score of each item under that exam, and it's going to calculate the average of that. Then over here, I have the score display. Essentially what this does is it computes your score, and it reflects that in a nice little graphic that I concocted. It uses a similar mechanism actually to that of the graphic I used in the previous video. Again, 4th time. If you haven't seen that video yet, you should totally watch it. So it has a little bar here, a little progress bar, and shows out of 10 the number of happy faces or good emojis that you got for that exam. Here also you can customize the emojis. So good is if you got a raw score that was over your good score. So say I got a score of more than 80%, then the emojis would switch from happy faces to heart faces. Whereas if I got a score less than 50%, it would switch to sad cry baby faces, right? And then the default emoji for this one, like the default bar without the smiley faces. Okay. Then date taken, then the items. in that exam. So you can actually view here. So that's the standard view. The simplified, you just want to see your score, that's it. And the modify. So if you want to modify your good score, your passing score, the emojis, why isn't this in order? Then you can modify it here. And that, my friends, was essentially my video on part 2 of how I use Notion for study. And that was part 2 of how I use Notion to study. What do you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell so that you can get in tune for my next video. As always, this has been Juan. Remember, eat healthy, sleep early, but most importantly, live life to the fullest, because you only have one life to live. Na 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 na.